All right, welcome y'all to Free From Savings Matching Program overview. My name is M. Jackson. My pronouns are they, them, theirs, and I am the Director of Peer Engagement and Support at Free From. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to my teammate, AK. AK, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Anakaren. I also go by AK. I'm the cash assistance manager here at FreeFrom. So I'm going to be processing all your payments for this program, and my pronouns are she, her, hers.
Excellent, excellent. Thanks so much, AK. Happy to have y'all here. Thank you so much for joining. If you're watching this later on, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm grateful to have you all be here to receive this overview and this information about the savings matching program. So what's happening today is we're going to do a little grounding activity to get folks ready, do a short introduction to FreeFrom if this is your first interaction with FreeFrom, or maybe folks who have already been introduced to us before. This could just be a refresher for you. Then we're going to go over a program overview, next steps for the program, so stuff that you should expect to receive from us, and any questions that you have. So you can go ahead and use the chat feature. AK will be monitoring the chat feature if you would like to ask any specific questions while I'm presenting information, because it might be relevant to that specific slide, and you have some information or you have some questions that perhaps can't wait all the way until the end, and that's perfectly fine. So feel free to do that. Otherwise, you can wait until the end for those questions as well, whatever you're comfortable with. All right. So I know you all have joined from wherever you are right now. And of course, we have different things that we bring with us to, interacting with different presentations and everything. So I wanted to take the time to invite you to a grounding activity if you're comfortable with participating. So if you're comfortable with accepting the invitation, I ask that you think about what calms your body and your mind. Maybe it's taking a few deep breaths, closing your eyes, doing a quick stretch, doodling, or maybe it's something else. Take a few moments to do that now. And if you could sit comfortably or choose a body position that feels good for you. Then I ask that you check in with yourself. How are you feeling? What are you bringing with you? What are you leaving behind? And if you could just focus your attention, focus your mind, focus your feelings on what would allow you to fully be able to receive information from this webinar today and be prepared to join the program. Okay. Thank you to y'all who listened, who accepted that invitation, and we'll go ahead and get started.
Hi, Am. I think folks are not able to see the slides, and on my end, it looks like we're stuck on slide 1. So maybe like
Okay.
stop the share and reshare.
Okay. If y'all could give me 1 second. All right. Are y'all able to see that now?
Great. We're getting a lot of yeses.
Perfect. Excellent. And if y'all are having any other issues while I'm presenting, feel free to go ahead and drop that in the chat. And thank you so much, AK, for monitoring that. All right. So if we could go ahead and use that chat function now, if you're comfortable, if you could share with us, what are you hoping to achieve by participating in this program? So what comes to mind when you think about, okay, I'm about to participate in this savings matching program with FreeFrom. This is what I would like to achieve. And AK, could you read out some of those responses?
Yeah. So learning to save, money management, stability, accountability and discipline, feeling more in control of my finances, financial support and stability, regaining my independence, and more awareness around my financial choices.
Excellent, excellent. Thank y'all so much for sharing those answers, and it's inspiring for us to hear that. I'm sure it's inspiring for other folks that are here to see that, and it really helps with the theme of this program of really helping survivors to get towards a place of financial freedom, financial independence, and really feeling good about where you are with your savings, or perhaps even starting a savings habit. So again, thank y'all for sharing that. Okay, so we wanted to start with discussing our approach at FreeFrom. So we envision a world where survivors have sustaining income, savings, and credit with which to build wealth and the resources to support individual, intergenerational, as well as community healing. To that end, we take a holistic approach that uses technology, peer-to-peer networks, training programs, policy advocacy, social enterprise models, as well as cross-sector solutions. And what we hope to do with our approach is really create an ecosystem of support for survivors. And then we also have our values here at FreeFrom. So our values really inform the work that we do. So we see GBV, which is gender-based violence, as an economic issue with economic consequences, or I'm sorry, economic causes and economic consequences. GBV is not a woman's issue. GBV disproportionately affects trans and non-binary people. Experiences of LGBTQ plus and BIPOC survivors are censored and inform our work and workforce. Survivors are experts by experience and are trusted at all costs. Anyone can be a harm doer. Transformative justice supports survivors, harm doers, and communities in their healing. Defunding the police and investing in non-carceral responses. And when I say non-carceral, I mean not using jails or prisons, is crucial to creating long-term security for survivors and their families and communities. Living wage work and survivor-centered workplaces are essential to our movement's progress. Service providers are also survivors. Economic justice is healing justice, and sex work is work. So those are our values, again, that really inform the work that we do and the way that we operate all of our programming and honestly, just everything that we do within our work. So why did we create a savings matching program? We wanted to keep these goals that you can see or hear as I read off on screen in mind when we were creating this program. So we wanted to make sure that it was flexible. We feel that that is extremely important to have flexibility in any programming that is created with survivors in mind. And also that it was a survivor-centered financial product. Survivor-centered financial products are products that make sure that they look at the unique challenges, obstacles, opportunities, and keep those in mind as products are created to help survivors to find and to create opportunities for financial freedom and opportunities for debt relief and improving credit and all of these different things that just really create that financial independence and financial well-being that many of you had discussed in the chat with that first question. We wanted to eliminate restrictions, making sure that restrictions that can come with different savings programs are not present with ours. And so that we're making sure that we're not replicating any type of control or financial abuse or harm that folks could experience if there are very strict requirements that folks may receive in participating in other programs. So we didn't want that in ours. Also, the self-reporting. Self-reporting goes into trusting survivors, making sure that folks can say they saved what they saved and we just believe them, as opposed to requiring some sort of proof. Wanted to make sure we had ease of participation, that it was very easy to be able to participate in this program from the beginning all the way until the end of the program. And supporting survivors and growing a savings cushion of $500. And I'll go over how exactly we got to that number in a little bit. But that honestly is like the main goal of ours, is making sure that folks can get to that $500 savings cushion. And again, if you have any questions, AK will be monitoring the chat, so you can go ahead and write that in the chat. So how does the program work? It's a 6-month-long program from beginning to end. It is one-time participation. And what that means is once you participate for that, that full 6 months or that length of time that it takes for you to finish the program, then that it would be it. It wouldn't be that folks can finish the program and then come back in. And we do that to make sure that we can provide this program and access to this program to as many survivors as possible. And so that way it helps us to make sure it's not something that we are having anyone to do multiple times. And this really, you can see this program as a starter and, a stepping stone in your savings journey. You also self-report your savings monthly, and I'll go over exactly how that's done in a little bit. But as I mentioned earlier, that's really about trusting y'all to be able to, you save what you said that you saved, as opposed to us requiring all of this proof for you to show that you actually saved. And then we match up to $40 a month for 6 months. So that's the length of the program, and I'll go over how that works soon as well. And then there's also a bonus payment of $20 that's combined with your last matching payment. So when you make it to the 6th match, then you would be able to receive that bonus, that $20 bonus along with your match. So we don't require a social security number. We don't require, again, a proof of savings or any type of bank account. So we don't require that you show us those things in order to participate. And this goes back to us making sure that as many survivors can participate as possible, and they're not feeling that restriction of what they need to do, all of this red tape or anything like that to be able to participate in the program. Is there any questions so far? AKA, is there anything that's coming in?
No.
Okay, perfect. Hopefully that means that I'm doing a great job presenting y'all. So hopefully I'm doing that. Okay. So the monthly reporting, this is very, very important because this is how you get your matching payment. So on the 1st of the month, you'll receive an email that includes the survey to report your savings. So it'll be a very short survey that you fill out, and it'll ask you like, how much did you save for basically you'll be reporting for the previous month. And if you don't receive an email in your inbox, and sometimes the first will of course fall on a weekend or fall on a holiday, if that happens, then you'll receive it on that following Monday. But if for some reason you're not receiving communication from me in your inbox, check your spam folder. It's still not there. Send me an email and let me know what you have not received so I can make sure that I get that to you. I try to make sure folks really hear that in the beginning of the program, because of course it's technology can fail us at sometimes. And so if I don't know that you haven't received it, then that could potentially have you miss out on that match. And so I want to make sure that you get that match right on time each month. So just let me know if it's something that you haven't received. So you'll be asked on this survey, the short survey, what month you're reporting for. You always will report for the previous month. So for example, you receive the survey on October 1st. You receive that email that says, okay, it's time for you to report your savings. You will say that you were reporting for the month of September, because you can't report for October on the 1st because October just started. So you're reporting for that full month of savings. So that's always a helpful way that I think can help folks to remember, is just saying, okay, I just got this on the 1st of the month, so I need to be reporting for that previous month. So it'll ask what month, and then you'll just go ahead and select September. So the survey will be due by the 10th of the month. You'll receive it again on the 1st, and by the 10th of the month, that is when the survey deadline has hit and where it will be shut down and you cannot report anymore. And so it can be helpful to set up a reminder in your phone, or if you make use of any type of calendar, for the first of the month. So you can say, okay, I'm getting this email. Let me go ahead and, I have this time set aside that I can fill it out each month while I'm participating in the program. That way it's not, you waiting until the 10th, and then of course things happen, life happens, and it may be something that delays you and you miss that deadline. And so that's a very important date to keep mind of. So with the matching payment, once you submit your monthly savings report via the survey that you'll receive in your email, we will match the amount you save up to $40 and send you a payment via the payment option that you chose on your intake survey. If you forget, if you forgot what option you chose, just send me an email, let me know, and then I can look that information up for you. So if you save $20, we'll match you $20. If you save $60, then we'll match you $40, since we match up to $40. And so that's something to keep in mind as you are saving throughout the program. If you are financially able to save that $40 a month, then it really works out in your favor, so that you're able to receive that full match. But of course, things happen where you may not be able to save the full $40, and that's perfectly fine. There's no shame in that at all, if you're not able to get up to that full 40. So your payment will be processed on the 15th of the month, unless it falls on a holiday or a weekend. And I know I had already mentioned that, but that's something to keep in mind. I know we get a lot of questions about payments. Oh, my payment hasn't arrived yet. And so just to keep that in mind, and to know that it's being processed on the 15th. So because it's being processed, depending on what payment option you chose, for example, if you chose Venmo, you will receive your matching payment earlier than someone that chose check in the mail or direct deposit, because it's going to take a bit more time for it to hit your bank account and for it to, come through the mail. And so keep that in mind as you're thinking through, like, oh, I haven't received that payment yet. And if for some reason you haven't, it's been that amount of time, it's been the 7 to 10 business days, send me an email. As AK mentioned, AK handles our payments. And so usually I'll send that over to AK, and then AK will help to figure that out, or, I'll help as well. If you have any changes or questions, you will be asked to set up a phone call with a FreeFrom's team member and ask for the 4-digit PIN that was selected on your full intake survey. So folks filled out a very short intake survey when you joined the wait list, and that was just a placeholder for the wait list. And then it's that full intake survey that's due by this Friday, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so that's that full intake survey that's due, and that actually puts you within the program, and it's going to ask you for a 4-digit PIN. So if you can put that 4-digit PIN somewhere in your phone or somewhere where you'll be able to access it. So if you have any questions for your security, we will be checking in on that first. Okay. And I wanted to go back to this for a second. So with the matching payments, I want to go back to the $500 that I discussed earlier, of our goal for folks to get to that $500 in savings cushion. So the way that we got to that $500 is that if you are able to save $40 a month for the 6 months, that's going to get you to $240. And if we're matching you that $40, then that's an additional $240 for that 6 months. And so that's going to get you to $480 in total for the 6 months. And then that $20 bonus, that end of program bonus that you would get for completing the program, would get you to that $500. Now, that's not to say that you have to wait until the end of the program to spend, the match that you receive. That's not to say that at all. It's up to you if you want to keep that in savings, if you want to use that for other things. But that is just, like our intention and our goal for you creating that savings cushion. Is there any questions that has come through, AK?
Yeah, there's a question about what if you forgot your PIN? Is there any way to reset it?
Yeah, that's a great question. So if you forgot your PIN, What we'll do is go through the information that was in your intake survey. And so certain questions that only you would be able to know from information that we asked you on that full survey. And we'll verify that. We try to make sure it's not any fraudulent activity going on or anybody that is using your email or anything like that to try to get us to send payments to them. And that's why we have that security. So yeah, we would just have a phone call with you and go through what you entered in that survey.
There's two more questions. What if you move? And the other one, is this helping build your credit score?
Great questions. If you move, then what you would do is send me an email and let me know. The only reason we would need your address would be if you are receiving check in the mail. So if you know that you're going to move and you know that time period that you'll be moving, then make sure you include that information in the email so we make sure, do we need to change to a different payment method if you have access to Venmo or PayPal or direct deposit until you get everything set up at your new address, or if we need to just hold off on sending that payment if none of those options work for you or are not safe for you, then we'll do that. And yeah, AK has done that before, and then we'll send that to you. Sometimes it might be even a double payment if you don't have an option to receive that until for another month or something, and you have that safe address. So the point of that is we have that flexibility to make sure that you are able to get your payments at the place that is the safest for you to receive it.
There's another question about the PIN. Did we make the PIN up ourselves or was it generated for us?
Okay, so before I'll get to that question, I'm gonna get to the question about is this building your credit? So this is not building your credit. This is just simply a savings matching program. And it's other programs such as lending circles that can help you to build your credit. If you want more information about that, you can Google a lending circle. You could also reach out to me for more information about that as well. But that's a resource that you could use for that. As far as the PIN, so you pick your own PIN. If you have not filled out the full intake survey yet, then you wouldn't have picked one yet. But it will ask you for just a 4-digit PIN that you would be able to remember. Is there any other questions or any folks that I answered those questions? Let me know if you needed me to clarify any further.
Is there a full survey going out via email on top of the initial survey?
Okay, so you would have received, I believe, AK, you sent out a reminder as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you would have received 2 emails by now that it's basically like welcome to the program email. That should be the subject line. And within that, it is a line in the beginning that says, can you fill out the full intake survey? And it'll say that it's due by Friday, August 26th. And that the survey that you filled out to be on the wait list, that was a very, very short survey. I think it was less than 10 questions. This full intake survey is a much longer survey. It's where we're able to collect the information about you and make sure that we're able to have all of the information that we need for our database from you and for your participation in the program. So make sure you fill that out as soon as possible. If for some reason you didn't receive either of those emails, please send me an email. My email address will be at the end so that we could get that figured out for you. But if you don't fill out the full intake survey, then you're not officially in the program. So everybody that's here right now, just make sure you have filled that out. And if you're saying, I'm not sure, I think I did, send me an email and we'll check in on that. AK and I'll make sure. Is there any other questions? Or are we good?
Yeah, I think we're good right now. And if you have super specific questions, you can also email them to M.
Yes.
Drop their email.
Excuse me. Excellent. Okay. So dates to remember, the first of the month. That is when you will receive your survey via email. If you have not received it, and again, it's not a holiday, it's not a weekend, send me an email. Send me an email and say, hey, haven't received the survey yet. And I'll make sure that I check in on that for you. And then the 10th of the month, that's when the survey is due. Making sure that you reach that so you don't fill it out on the 11th, the 12th, any other days, and then you are reaching that page that says you have missed the deadline. And that 10th of the month was established so we can make sure that everyone is able to get their payments and everything on time. And we have structure ourselves on the back end to make sure that the program is just running real smoothly. So that's why we have these dates in place. And then the 15th of the month, important day, because that is matching payment payday. So that to me, I feel like that's the best day. So keep that date in mind to make sure, okay, I know it's processed on the 15th, unless it's a holiday or weekend. I've received my payment, or I haven't received it. Let me go ahead. First thing, let me email him, and then I can go ahead and check in on that for you. But yeah, so just make sure that you have those dates in mind. And as a reminder, this is going to be recorded, so you'll receive this recording on the next email that we send out to y'all on September 1st, and you'll also receive the slides as well. So don't feel like you have to like write everything down or anything like that. With the reminder, so you'll receive an email reminding you to complete your monthly report and survey, as I said on the 1st. What we also do is we send out a second reminder. That second reminder is sent on the 5th of the month, unless it's a holiday or a weekend. So that way we can get as many folks to complete their survey on time. If you've already filled it out on the 1st, you're still going to get that email on the 5th that will say, hey, just a reminder. Because when we're sending out reminders, we're sending it out to everybody. So you can say, oh, I've already done that, but I want to check. I want to make sure. Send me an email. I'll check in and make sure I can see that you actually completed that survey for the month. You only need to complete the survey one time. If you are not sure that if you completed it, then go ahead and send me an email. If we have multiple surveys in there under your record in our database, then we're not sure which information is the most relevant, the most correct. And so that's why we asked you to fill it out only one time. And again, you can just check in with me if you forget any of that. And the other thing that I wanted to say before I move forward is we make sure that this goes with our goals of the program, with the reminders, with the flexibility, with making sure that, everything is survivor centered. Because it's not just that folks are just survivors and need so much support and everything, but just we want to make sure that we think about everyone as, just humans, and we forget things, and we might plan to do certain things, but it could be helpful for someone to just send a gentle reminder so that we have it back in, the front of our mind to complete. Okay. So as I told y'all, we have the 6-month-long program. That is the full time period of the program. What we determined when we began the program is it would be even more helpful for survivors if we had an extension program. So I'm going to explain to you what exactly that is. So although everyone can have the, full intentions to finish the program in 6 months, we know that life happens, and that might prevent them from finishing it in that 6-month period. So each program participant is going to be offered a one-time extension of the program for the amount of months that they missed matching payments according to our records. So if you're eligible for this, you'll be offered to extend the program at the time of your 6-month reporting survey. So at your last survey, what we include on that last survey is an exit with exit questions, and the exit survey questions will help us to improve the program, to see how the program was for you. And if for some reason, or I shouldn't say for some reason, but if you are eligible for that extension, then instead of getting those exit questions, what you'll do, you'll report for your 6 month, and then you'll be asked if you would like to accept an offer of extension so that you can make up for those mismatches. And so you can decline that or you can accept it. It's totally up to you. If you decline it, then it'll go ahead and put you into the pool of receiving that exit survey so you can give your feedback about the program, because we want to know that information. So then you can always know that if something happens, we still want to make sure you get all your matches.
And we have a
Oh,
question,
go ahead.
and you might answer this through this, but so only if you missed, you can get an extension. You might be answering that in this question.
Yes, that's a great question though. So if you missed 1 month, then the program will be extended for 1 month. If you missed 3 months, the program will be extended for 3 more months. So if you got to that 6 month, and let's say in January you missed a month of reporting, or you weren't able to save for whatever reason, then your program would be extended out for 7 months. So that following month on the 1st, you would receive another survey that would ask you to complete your reporting, your savings for that previous month. And what's important as well is you can accept the program, you can accept, the extension program, and for some reason you don't fill out the surveys. So this is a one-time extension program as well. And so keeping track of, okay, I know I've extended it, I'm going to be receiving more emails so that I can complete these surveys and make up for my mismatches. What we do is we do send out a reminder for folks to say, hey, you extended the program. We wanted to make sure you accept it, or I'm sorry, we wanted to make sure, you filled out your survey, things like that. We're always making sure that we send those reminders out to folks, because we don't want you to miss your matches. We want to make sure that you are completing the 6-month program and the extension as well. But to keep that in mind, that both are, like one-time participation programs. So our goal is to make sure you receive, again, all 6 of your matching payments. And we're just very understanding of the unique obstacles that survivors may face through all of this. Now, you could have it where you miss a month or 2 months, or, even 3 months, because you weren't able to save for those months. We still want you to report on the survey. So we want you to report $0. I didn't save anything. And then you can, if you're comfortable, say like why you weren't able to save. And you still will be eligible for that extension. Now, if you just forgot, I forgot to fill it out, I missed the deadline, you'll be eligible for the extension. So those are those eligibility requirements. You weren't able to save, or you just forgot to fill out the survey. Okay, I'm gonna pause myself there to see if anybody has any questions.
Hi, I'm not sure if you mentioned this, but if you reported saving $0 for a certain month, you also get an opportunity to make up that match through the extension program.
Yes. So if you reported $0, meaning that you were not able to save, then you would be eligible for an extension, because you didn't. You think about it in the way of how many matches were you able to receive? You didn't receive all those 6 matches for the 6 months, then we're going to extend it out for you. And you have the opportunity to accept that extension or decline that extension. But again, that's us making sure that you're able to receive all 6 matches. Are there any other questions that are coming up for y'all? Okay, excellent. Okay, so a few common questions. I know I've already answered this one. If you're unable to save, again, just fill out the survey anyway, and then just say that you saved $0. That's it. That's all you'll have to do. But even if you, again, forget to fill that out, because you didn't save, and you just think in your mind, oh, I don't have to fill it out because I didn't save this month, then you'll still be eligible. But we're just asking that you still fill that out with just putting that $0. Okay, I feel like this AK is one of the the favorite questions that we receive. When do I receive my first match? So your first matching payment will be received in the month of October, since you will begin reporting your savings on 10/1. So y'all's program, and this is meaning everyone has filled out the full intake, you are officially in the program, then you would officially begin on September 1st, and you'll be receiving an email with information. I'll explain that in a little bit. But once October 1st hits, then you'll receive an email that would say, okay, how much did you save for the month? You get that information, or I'm sorry, you report that information, and then again, the 15th, payment is processed, and then you'll receive that shortly after. But that's important to remember. Okay, I'm starting on September 1st. I'll be actually reporting. I'll get that email to report on October 1st. And then you'll receive that payment after the 15th of October. And again, this is if you fill out the full intake survey. That it's very important to fill out that full intake survey, so we make sure you are officially in the program, because those emails are only going out to the folks that we have in our system that filled out the full intake. Any questions about that? Anything you getting over there, AK?
Nope.
Okay, excellent. Y'all making me feel like I'm doing a great job. Okay. So I know we kind of went over this, but I'll just share it once again. I didn't receive an email or matching payment. What should I do? Contact me. I will be your best friend through this whole program. I will be your best friend when it comes to answering questions. AK will be your best friend when it comes to getting your payments processed. So don't be afraid to email me as many times as you need to. Sometimes I will go ahead and send the email over to AK, and you'll receive an email sometimes from AK's email, or it may also be from our safety fund at FreeFrom email address. If you are ever feeling a little iffy about an email that's coming in that says from FreeFrom, feel free to reach out to me and say, is this from y'all? Just to make sure that that's perfectly fine. But I just always make sure folks know you're not annoying me or anything like that by emailing me as many times as you need to get the information that you need from me, or get those questions answered. And your end of program bonus. So again, you'll receive that with your last month's matching payment, even if you're in the extension program. So even if you're extending out, then you'll still get that $20 bonus with your last payment, that sixth matching payment. So I know I explained this before, but I'll explain it one more time. So if you save $40 or more, you'll receive the $40. And then with that match, you'll get that $20. So your last matching payment, if you save the $40, or even, as I said, if you save maybe $60 or something, then you'll still get that $40 match, that max match, plus $20 in the program bonus. So that last match that you receive would be a total of $60 if you do save $40 or over. So that's important to remember. You'll get a little bit extra at the end of the program. That's also a thank you to y'all for going through this full program with us. Any questions about any of that? All right, great. So what do you expect next? Okay, so as I mentioned, you will receive an email on September 1st if you complete the full intake survey. That's very important for y'all to complete that. So the email will let you know it's time to start tracking your savings for the program. I'm sure many of y'all have, tracked savings in a variety of ways before, but this is an email that'll go through that, helpful tips and things like that, helpful information for you. And you'll have that on September 1st. I can't remember if that falls on a weekend or anything, but I think it might be Labor Day, so it may be a holiday, I think. But anyway, if you do not receive that around that time period, check your junk mail. Always check your junk mail. And then If it's not there, send me an email so I can make sure that it gets to you. Make sure that you read through the entire email. It's a lot of important information that's coming, and just any communication that you get from us in general. If you can make sure you read through the email, because that will many times answer a lot of questions that you might have, but it may be some that fall outside of that, and you could feel free to reach out to me for that. If you prefer to be communicated with in Spanish, you can send me the emails in Spanish. What happens is I send that over to AK, and AK will respond back to you. So I know we have a webinar in Spanish that's coming up later in the day today, and some folks may be attending this one as well. So just to let anyone here that prefers to communicate in Spanish know that you can still send emails to me, but they will be sent to AK to be able to respond back to you in Spanish. You will receive your monthly report and survey each month again on the 1st, beginning on October 1st. So again, 9/1, you're going to receive that email if you completed the full intake survey. You have until Friday to complete it, but you will receive that email letting you know it's time to start tracking your savings. And then October 1st, you'll receive the email that says it's time to report. So basically, remember the first of the month while you're in the program it is time for me to report my savings so I can get this matching payment. So I can get this free money for participating in this program. I also want to make sure that y'all remember that you will receive the communication via the email address that you listed on your intake survey. So that is where all your communication is going to come from or come to, and your matching payments will be the payment option that you listed on your intake survey. Again, if you don't remember what you listed, what you chose, send an email to me and I will look that information up for you. But just keeping those things in mind, and even with the PIN, make sure that you have that somewhere safe that you can always go back to, since that will really cut down on the time of us verifying your information to make any changes to your payment. Okay, I'm going to stop myself right there. Any questions about any of this and what's coming next? Okay, let's move on to the full question slide. Okay. AK, is there anything that you would love for folks to know?
Just we're here to support you. If you have any questions, need any clarification, please reach out to M or savings@freefrom.org. We're here to help you, support you. And we're excited to be part of the savings journey with you.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, AK. We are very, very excited for y'all to allow us to join you in this savings journey, and we appreciate you taking a chance on our program. We know that it's still a newer program, and that's why we also very much appreciate at the end of the program if you provide feedback in the exit survey so we can make sure that it's working best for y'all. We have our contact information on the screen. Again, as I mentioned, you may get emails. You'll mostly get emails from me, but you can also have some emails that are from responded from our safety fund at freefrom.org email address or from AK directly. But just to let you know, we're all from FreeFrom, so it's not anyone else trying to contact you. And then you can stay up to date with all of our information, everything that we have going on through our website, through our social media handles, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or anything like that. I want to make sure I leave space for any feelings that y'all have after receiving all this information. Hopefully the way I presented it was understandable, and you're excited to join the program. That is my hope from this presentation. So if it's anything you want to drop in the chat, feel free to go ahead and do that now. But again, know that I'm here for any questions that you have. AK's here, and we just want to support you the best that we can in the most flexible and survivor-centered way. So thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. Okay, I see a hand raised. Okay, if you wanted to go ahead and, AK, are we getting a question in the Q&A?
No, for Liseth, can you go ahead and type in your question in the chat? Marisol as well.
Yes, if you have any questions, if you could type them in the chat, or type them in the Q&A, and I'll be sure to answer them.
For folks who are asking if they can see this recording, we will be sharing that in the email. So the September 1st email will include the recording of the webinar and also the presentation slides.
Yes. And was there one more question, or it was the same question?
Yeah, somebody's asking, how can we find out if we are fully in the program? And again, you can email M. I'll drop the email again.
Yes, and you can see on the slide here, you'll see my email address there listed at the top, and then you'll see AK's as well at the bottom. So you can feel free to use that email address and reach out. Okay, and if you are raising your hand, if you could go ahead and type that question into the chat or the Q&A. And even if y'all don't have questions, if there's anything that you want to share, any feelings you want to share about beginning in the program, feel free to go ahead and drop that as well. Okay. And just to let y'all know, if you have anything that you aren't comfortable with sharing here, but you want to talk more, one-on-one with myself, then you can feel free to send me an email, and you can share any comments. You can go ahead and ask any questions, anything like that. You can go ahead and email me at m.jackson@freefrom.org. So that's spelled em.jackson at free, FREE, from FROM.org. Well, thank y'all so much for attending the webinar. Really, really appreciate it. And I am looking forward to joining y'all on your savings journey, where it is right now. Okay, take care and have a great day.